epilepsy warning for flashing lights and colors.
One thing I love to do on this channel is talk about the unique and bizarre roller coasters out there that rarely get talked about. Weird coasters is the name of the game today. Some of these rides are so weird, they didn't even get past the development stage. To put it bluntly, this video will be a bowl of unique engineering with a spoonful of wacky design.
Speaking of, you can get a spoonful of this video's sponsor, Magic Spoon.
You may already know Magic Spoon for its high-protein fueling cereals with the taste you remember from your childhood.
And there are plenty of flavors to choose from. Seriously, this isn't even all of them. But Magic Spoon is more than just cereal, they also sell these treats as well. These bars have 11 to 12 grams of protein, as well as 1 to 3 grams of net carbs and just 1 gram of sugar, so you can get all the wholesome fuel you need on the go. And there are tons of flavors for this too, including this rich double chocolate flavor. And the variety doesn't end there, because Magic Spoon has a delicious line of granola as well. This granola has 13 to 14 grams of protein, as well as 7 to 8 grams of fiber and just 2 grams of sugar. I've personally used it to make amazing parfaits, raspberry, blueberry, or otherwise. If you're looking to try out Magic Spoon treats and granola, head to my link in the description or use my promo code CRAZY. You'll get $5 off, and you can find Magic Spoon on Amazon or your nearest grocery store. And to top it all off, Magic Spoon has a 100% happiness guarantee. So if you don't like your product for any reason, they'll refund your money with no questions asked. So start off the summer right and get yourself some Magic Spoon today. Special thanks to Magic Spoon for sponsoring this video.
With that said, let's discuss 10 bizarre roller coasters you've never heard of. Number 10, the Formula PAX model, made by Russian manufacturer PAX. First opening in 2005 at France's Parc St. Paul, this coaster model is known for its compact layout and a shocking balls-to-the-wall ride experience. Built by PAX, the Formula PAX doesn't seem like much on the surface. Despite its modest stats, it managed to deliver ejector airtime that rivaled the likes of Rocky Mountain construction. You heard that right. As described in Canopy Coaster's video on the attraction, the unusual layout features an abrupt double-up, wonky outward bank turns, and a stunning third drop. As he put it, the third drop was unbelievable. It took my breath away. It would even take Ellen Schilke's breath away. Its bizarre combination of design elements throughout the course can easily lead one to believe the engineers had one too many quote-unquote brownies. As of today, there is only one of these coasters said to be left in operation, and it stands in the city of Moscow. Though relatively few people have ridden this ride model, those who have are unlikely to forget about it anytime soon. Number 9, the Timestir, built by Italian manufacturer IE Park. You may remember the short-lived Horizon prototype by Skyline Attractions. This single-rail design consisted of a figure-8 shaped layout with an airtime hill overlapping an inline twist. The coaster operated briefly at SeaWorld San Diego from 2019 to 2023 as Tidal Twister, but across the Atlantic, another company is giving the general layout another shot. Italian manufacturer IE Park recently introduced a rather ambitious take on this setup known as the Timestir. Though it features the same basic layout, this version focuses on refining the ride experience with modern engineering and technical innovations. Unlike the Horizon single-rail setup, the Timestir utilizes conventional twin-rail steel track, a decision aimed at reducing vibration and noise. This makes for a noticeably smoother and quieter ride according to the manufacturer. Another impressive upgrade lies in its launch system. Borrowed from the company's Drifter coaster, the ride uses a linear eddy motor system, or LEM system. Instead of drive tires like on the Horizon model, the Timestir employs spinning magnetic wheels to deliver unique launch rarely seen on other coasters. This launch enhances the acceleration and makes for a smoother, much quieter ride than its spiritual predecessor. Another unique feature is the tilting cars. Since passengers board on a banked section of track, the cars are actually tilted upwards for easy boarding before moving back down into place. IE Park actually built a full-scale model of the coaster on their testing grounds. As it stands, Timestir is an appealing choice for smaller regional parks that want to deliver a high-impact attraction without a large land requirement. So far, none of these models have been purchased, but don't be surprised if you see one pop up in the near future. Number 8. The DangleZ by Italian manufacturer Zamperla. Admittedly, information on this coaster is extremely limited. I don't even know if I pronounced the model's name right. In fact, it really only received attention over 5 years ago at the 2019 IAAPA Expo. 5 years? 2019? What the hell? That feels like just yesterday. But based on the conceptual animation and the early buzz, the DangleZ stood out as a truly unique prototype. This family-friendly coaster model features a swinging ride vehicle that travels along a low-to-the-ground layout. Unlike a traditional spinning coaster, the DangleZ doesn't rotate a full 360 degrees. Instead, the range of motion is 160 degrees, and the vehicles sway in a pendulum-like motion. Underneath the vehicle is a complex mechanism of cylinders that control the motion. Admittedly, I'm not an engineer myself, but if anyone wants to point out the specifics in the comments section, I'd love to hear your take on the design. Like the Timestir, Zamperla also built a fully functional test model. It's unclear whether or not the DangleZ ever progressed past the test phase, and it's unclear if Zamperla will ever revive it. Number 7. The 16 Inversion coaster by Chinese manufacturer Golden Horse. You may have already heard of the Smiler at England's Alton Towers. Built by German manufacturer Gerstauer, this psychotic coaster holds the world record for the most inversions on a roller coaster with 14 in total. But did you know another company tried to break that record? A few years back, Chinese manufacturer Golden Horse, now publicly operating under the name Jinma Rides, set out to do exactly that. They ended up partnering with a freelance designer who had previously worked with top European manufacturers like the Smiler's own Gerstauer. That designer was from Coaster Lab, a studio dedicated to creating original ride concepts. Interestingly enough, the designer acknowledged an initial hesitance to work with Golden Horse due to their past controversies involving the alleged copying of existing coaster models. However, Golden Horse reportedly wanted to shift gears and focus on original designs for the European market. They claimed they lacked creative engineering talent and looked to Coaster Lab for help. According to a forum post by the freelancer, there were several things Golden Horse wanted in the coaster. These included 16 inversions, the ability to fit in a 157-foot by 341-foot footprint, a length of under 3,280 feet of track, and the distinction of being taller and faster than the Smiler. So Coaster Lab got to work, and the result was a tightly woven and inversion-packed layout that was just pure relentless flipping. In fact, according to the designer, I had no room and track left to make airtime hills or anything that was not an inversion. Eventually, the design was approved, and Golden Horse reportedly had plans to construct it. However, the 16 inversion coaster hasn't been built yet for unknown reasons. If it ever was constructed though, it would dethrone the Smiler and claim the title of the world's most inverting roller coaster. Now that would make headlines for sure. But what do you think of this layout? Do you think you could handle it, or is it just impractical? Number 6. The Sombrero, built by Italian manufacturer Technical Park. Though mostly known for their insane flat rides, Technical Park does have a few roller coasters up their sleeves too. One of them is, as my third life crisis calls it, pretty sus. Around 2008, the company introduced a bizarre family spinning powered coaster model called the Sombrero. It is, of course, named after the oversized sombrero-shaped ride vehicles. These gondolas are colorfully decorated with vibrant airbrushed patterns. Admittedly, they look more like bowls you'd fill with guacamole at a Cinco de Mayo party than actual ride vehicles. Or real sombreros for that matter. Unlike most spinning coasters that rely on gravity and rider weight for rotation, the Sombrero is a powered coaster. The track itself is relatively simple, a low-to-the-ground, slow-moving course. According to Technical Park, each car can spin independently and is equipped with limit switches to ensure controlled and safe rotation throughout. You definitely won't get airtime or high-speed thrills, but the Sombrero is definitely worth riding just for how rare it is. Number 5. Mission Ferrari at the UAE's Ferrari World. You've probably heard of dark ride coaster hybrids like Escape from Gringotts and Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind. However, Mission Ferrari attempted to take that concept to the next level. That said, it ended up being an overambitious project that sunk its manufacturer. Located at Ferrari World Abu Dhabi, Mission Ferrari is the world's first and currently only operating SFX coaster. Built by Dynamic Attractions, the design was meant to combine high-tech ride systems as well as show scenes and stunt show-esque maneuvers. Though Mission Ferrari was announced in 2015, it didn't open until around 8 years later in January 2023. The plot involves riders being tasked with delivering a spy car to the Ferrari factory. Meanwhile, guests are chased by a villainous group called the Vipers. The ride itself has countless theming and ride elements, including animatronics, projections, a turntable, a tilting track segment, and a backwards launch into a vertical loop. The sheer scale and expense of this coaster is something that really had to be seen to be believed. And let's be honest, if you saw this image out of context, you'd think it was AI generated. Sadly, the coaster is widely considered to be a big mistake. For one thing, it suffers from a poor capacity of only 200 riders per hour and frequent downtime. Not only that, but reviewers like Taylor Bybee of Coaster Studios have criticized the trim brakes for killing the pacing. He also criticized the media's timing as being misaligned with the train's position. Even worse, while the original price tag was said to be $18.2 million, it ended up being $28.3 million, which led to over $10 million in losses for Dynamic Attractions. Soon enough, the company went into bankruptcy protection and was sold off in 2023. They also publicly declared that they'd never build another SFX coaster, but would be willing to help if another company wanted to take a shot at the concept. As it stands, don't be surprised if you see a failed coasters episode about this ride. Number 4. Valle degli Gnomi at Italy's Fiabelandia. Picture this. Take an ordinary wacky worm coaster you've seen at a local fair and give it a heavily themed terrain-based layout with dark ride portions. It sounds like something you'd see in a dream, but it does in fact exist in Italy. Currently operating at Fiabelandia, this coaster first opened all the way back in 1976. Yes, this coaster is about to turn 50 next year. Believe it or not, it was the first wacky worm-style coaster. Italian manufacturer Pininfarina would end up reusing the classic creepy-as-hell worm train we all love on the more compact and widely known wacky worm layout. As for the Valle degli Gnomi, its name translates into Valley of the Gnomes. The course is quite elaborate, with passengers navigating an underground cavern as well as a giant apple and a crystal mine. At one point, there's a wavy section of track meant to simulate the worm's wiggling. This would later be reused on the more famous Wacky Worm. Honestly, even though it's not Disney-level theming, this is a pretty charming coaster. And there's no doubt it's a great ride for kids. So if you want to dive into a piece of Wacky Worm lore, feel free to book a ticket to Fiabelandia. Number 3. The Buffalo Hunt Coaster at South Dakota's Fort Hays Chuck Wagon. We've talked about shooting dark rides before on this channel. Well, instead of a dark ride, how about putting that concept on an outdoor roller coaster? Just a short drive away from Mount Rushmore is another South Dakota tourist attraction called Fort Hays Chuck Wagon. This old western town has plenty to see and do, including the film set for Dances with Wolves, Tin Plate Craftsmen, and 99-cent all-you-can-eat pancakes. For coaster enthusiasts, there's also the Buffalo Hunt coaster. Built by German manufacturer Vegan, this suspended coaster sits 2 riders at a time on freely swinging ride cars. Each passenger is equipped with what the venue calls a high-tech 6-shooter. Passengers take aim at targets to rack up points, and each target is attached to a full-sized buffalo statue. Though the targets look big and easy to hit, it's not as easy as you think. The swinging of the ride vehicles adds to the challenge, making it harder to aim as your car sways unpredictably. According to MountRushmoreTours.com, this ride actually has an all-time leaderboard. So if you want the bragging rights of having a high score on this, South Dakota's the place to be. Number 2. The Bumerang, built by PAX. This is one of the most bizarre roller coaster models to pop up in quite some time. Imagine taking an S&S free spin, giving it a reverse lift, and an unusual shuttle-style layout. First announced in 2023, this attraction recently made its public debut at Kyrgyzstan's Valle Park. At a cost of around $978,000, this coaster sends up to 20 people at a time through a super compact, vertically stacked layout. Interestingly enough, PAX actually offers a smaller version of this model with a teardrop-shaped layout. Unfortunately, the official concept images and videos from PAX have the phrase, "Commercial secret used without permission is pursued by the law." Now, I'm not sure if that's referring to the ride design itself or the concept art, but I will provide links in the description. Either way, this is one strange coaster you'll be seeing in your dreams or nightmares tonight. Number 1. The Sphere Coaster, built by American manufacturer Eurobungee. Like the 16 Inversion coaster, this ride never actually left the conceptual phase. Now right off the bat, you may be wondering who exactly Eurobungee is. Well, as far as I know, this was a Miami, Florida-based amusement company who also had offices in Germany and Switzerland. Though recently defunct, this company was mainly focused on manufacturing ropes courses, bungee rides, and trampolines. Back in December 2011, they also revealed a new concept for a bonkers roller coaster called the Sphere Coaster. This ride would have consisted of a train of passengers on a circular loop of track. This track was attached to 2 larger concentric rings. Each of the rings served as a separate axis of rotation. Admittedly, aside from this initial concept video, there's not much information known about this coaster. Nobody would buy the coaster, and the concept would soon fade into obscurity. But hold the phone, just as I was finishing the script for this video, I found another bizarre concept from this same company. This ride, known as a Bobcoaster, seems to resemble an alpine coaster, but with a major quirk to it. You see, the track is unbanked, but riders are spared from excessive lateral forces by a unique swinging train. It's pretty hard to describe, but the passenger vehicle appears to be on a small sideways half-pipe of track. This track segment, in turn, has wheels on the bottom and rides on the main track. With all due respect, this idea kinda sucks. Why not just bank the track if it's going to feel the same to passengers? And even if the passengers are spared from excessive laterals, what about the track segment on the wheels? Won't the wheel assembly get the full force of those unbanked turns? It really is a design that makes you wonder what they were thinking. Perhaps those aforementioned quote-unquote brownies struck again. Sadly, Eurobungee no longer seems to be in operation, but I'd love to learn more about these coasters. So if you have any information about them, feel free to drop a comment down below.
Now it's time for the comment shoutout program. This is where I take 5 random comments from my previous video and read them out.
These comments come from my video on the Tower of Terror incident. Smiling Fox Creations says, "Oh wow, my family went to Florida in 1998. We rode this. And this is literally the first time I'm hearing about this incident." Jason T659 says, "Oh fun, I rode that ride. Good 6+ times just a month before LOL. Dr. Doll Designs 4009 says, "Nice to hear one of these stories where safety came first and everyone reacted appropriately." Valerie Barnes 9800 says, "Dang, all the way back in 1998 made me feel some kind of way." And Mad Hatter says, "You probably cover this in the video later, but that Journey to the Center of the Earth plus Volcano is alive and realized in Tokyo Disney Sea, and the ride is awesome. I've ridden it many times." If you want to see your words in my next video, leave a comment down below and it may be selected. Please note though that inflammatory or spam comments will not be read. Thank you all so much, and I will put a link in the description if you want to support me on Patreon.
Thanks for watching, everyone. Feel free to like, share, and subscribe. You can follow me on social media on Instagram and Facebook, or you can check out my website at themeparkcrazy.com.
And I'm on TikTok.
This is Theme Park Crazy, and I'll see you all next time.